On the gridiron or courtside, you know what time it is. It's
Sports plus life. Sports plus life.
ringside or front court or field pass, we ballin' no. Knuckle up or buckle up. I tell it like it is when I'm on my show. Home run, slam dunk, knockout, or got some dough.
Sports plus life.
Yeah.
Sports plus life. Yo, 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 yo. What's up? What's really good? It's your boy Brandon Brevon Towns, host of that show called Sports Plus Life. You feel me? Oh man, beautiful weekend, and y'all already know it's about to go down today. So guess what? Guess what? Turn it off, turn it off, turn it all the way off now. Yeah, boy, yeah, boy, yeah. Oh my goodness. How is everybody doing today? It is Monday, June the 27th, 2022. And here in Richmond, Virginia, it's a little cloudy, but it feels good. 80 degrees, beautiful weather out here in Richmond, Virginia. But please allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Brandon Brevon Towns, host of that show called Sports Plus Life, that there sports podcast where we talk about all of the necessary topics in sports and all of the necessary topics in life. And again, I hope everybody has a wonderful, blessed, and just fabulous week. We are now officially, unless you are an avid baseball fan, we are now officially in the dog days of summer. Okay, so what are you going to do? What are you going to talk about? I actually was going to not do a podcast this week, but there's enough content out there where that could carry the day. But before we get to the sports, I definitely have to give my shout out to my people, my love, my black and gold fam. I love each and every one of you guys, my fam in general, nothing but love. Your boy's YouTube page has been doing pretty well over the past month because of a couple of DJ Braveezy mixtapes that I have, DJ Braveezy mega mixes that I have done on YouTube. And definitely I would encourage you guys to go and check them out. I put out a summertime jam session mix on Friday. So definitely would encourage you guys to check those out. But again, I hope everybody is doing great. I hope everybody is blessed. Now, but again, before we get into sports, let's have a little bit of real talk. Let's have a little bit of real talk right quick. I was on the phone with one of my homeboys, one of my homies yesterday. I'm going to leave his name anonymous. And, you know, he just brought up, he was talking about a topic, where it's clear that some people out here nowadays still see things from different colored lens, from different colored glasses, or just maybe not mindful enough to know what they're saying and what they're offering. What I'm saying is that my homeboy's friend is dating a woman a little older than him. My homeboy's friend is black. The girlfriend is white. Now, before anybody goes any further, I will reiterate again, I'm not a racist person. Absolutely not. I am a realist, though. I'm going to tell it how it is, okay? I'm going to tell it how it is. But me, I love everybody. I do. I absolutely love everybody. But I'm going to keep it 100. I feel like being one thing about being a good friend, good husband, good father, good worker, whatever, is keeping things honest. If you just keep things honest, and particularly the friend and husband and father part, because sometimes you have to tell people things that they might not want to hear, but you're not saying it out of malice. You're saying it because it's something that honestly needs to be said. And again, once again, I love everybody. But yes, situation is my homeboy's friend is dating a woman, and I'm going to get him on the line here. But I just wanted you guys to know where the subject was going. And as I said, I was gonna get my boy on the line. Again, I'm keeping him anonymous, just keeping him anonymous. But what's up, bro?
What's going on, brother?
Ain't nothing much, man. Another day, another dollar. How about yourself?
Same here, man. Another day, another dollar, man.
All right. Well, I've introduced the topic, so you go ahead and just take it from there. If you don't want to go, or if you want to go over it again, have at it. Floor is yours.
All right. All right. So, got this friend. He just started just started dating this girl. So, they've been dating for probably a couple of weeks now. Everything's been going cool, I guess. The gentleman, he's about 30. The girl he's with, she's about 43. He's black, and she's white, but I think she's mixed with something else, like Spanish or something like that. Who knows? I don't know her background like that. But, so, they had a conversation the other day. He was telling me about it, and so she had mentioned, like I said, she's about 43. Says that she doesn't cook at all, So I guess one day she decides to give him a call when she gets off work, tell him, hey, what do you want to do for dinner? Yada, yada, yada. And, of course, he was like, well, she had mentioned wanting to go out. But he was like, no, I probably will just, I'd rather stay in. But if you stop by the grocery store and pick up something, I'll be more than happy to cook it for you when you get here. And he said that she kind of had like a little bit of an attitude about that, whatever. So I guess she decides to go to the grocery store. And so they're in communication through text. And when she gets there, now mind you, some people, I guess, can be innocent and don't realize what they're saying before they say it. But, I couldn't help myself. I died laughing when he told me this. But she had asked him, what do you, mind you, he's black, and she appears white. She said, well, what do you think about a watermelon salad for dinner with some feta cheese on it? And I ain't gonna lie, man, I fell out, man. When he told me this story, God damn! I died. So the fact that it was a very distinct fruit known to all black people. You didn't pick up a fruit salad. No, it had to be a distinct watermelon salad. So I wasn't prepared for that. I had to even look that up on Google watermelon salad, because I'd never heard of this. So I looked it up because he called and asked me about it. You ever heard of a watermelon salad? But, where is this coming from? Of course, told me the story. I was dying. I said, I think she was just mad because you didn't want to take her out, bro. I think she took a jab at you. Why not just pick up a regular fruit salad?
Biatch.
It had to be a watermelon salad.
Right. What? Out of all the salads you could have picked out. Yeah. And then insult to injury, I guess she didn't catch on to this, but my friend also said after that, he was like, well, hey, while you're at it, you might as well pick me up some chicken. Oh, so I'm just going to tell her to pick me up some chicken, too, while she's there. Yeah, I was sick. Man. Wait, first of all, who the fuck eats a watermelon salad with feta cheese on it?
I told you, I had to look up the image. I've never seen it.
That is a cultural difference in taste buds right there. I mean, for starters, you might have hit the nail on the forehead about taking a jab at him by saying a watermelon salad. All of the different damn salads you'll find in one single grocery store, you had to go to a watermelon salad.
Oh my God!
I mean, my goodness, what is this woman's background?
So to my knowledge, I know she has 3 kids. I think one of them's like 17. The other ones, I'm not sure of their age, but I know she has 3 kids, which neither of them, live with her or anything like that.
So wait a minute, wait. So wait, hold up, time out. So you're a 43-year-old woman. You have 3 kids. None of them live with you?
None of them.
Ooh, where does she live at?
From what I hear, anyway, I'm not too sure, but I guess that's the background.
Well, where does she live at?
I think she, if I'm not mistaken, she has a roommate. Yeah. I have no idea, man. I'm new to this. I hope it works out for my friend, but
And
I don't know.
Correct me if I'm wrong. At the Shamrock the Block, when we linked up, this is the guy that you were with. So I've met him.
Yes.
And he was with another young lady at the time. So this is a totally different woman, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, so
the girl was a little bit younger, obviously around his age, but this one is older. Yeah.
Well, how old was the other one?
Maybe I'd say she was probably about 23, 24.
Well, see, they can still train each other. See, all right, okay. Let me. Oh boy, watermelon salad. That shit still, bro. Hey, when you told me that shit yesterday, I was like, wait a minute.
It's funny. I was like, wait a minute, this is watermelon. You took one to the watermelon festival, and then one counteracts you with a salad the next time.
And there's probably a side of collards there too.
Collards, boy.
But wait a minute.
Salad, collard greens, and chicken.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me rewind. Let me go back for a second. So your friend, who I've met, is now in a relationship with a 43-year-old woman. The age doesn't bother me. The ethnicity doesn't bother me at all. None of which bothers me. This is where the red flags come up. For one, she doesn't cook at all. Okay? This is the are you sure it's gonna last checklist. Okay? Number one, she doesn't cook. Okay? Check that in the box of not looking too good. Number two, like I said, the age doesn't matter, but you have 3 kids and none of them live with you. Okay? Check that off the box. And then you said she has a roommate? And is this her house?
It is not.
It's not.
Not.
Okay, and doesn't have her own house. Okay, that's another checklist. What I'm seeing right now is a total lust factor right now. Which is quite common in most brand new relationships. Particularly even if you've been the best of friends for a long time, once you involve intimacy, the beginning stages of your new relationship, because now it's a brand new relationship. I know this shit from experience. Now you're in a brand new relationship where for the first bit of that relationship, lust is going to carry the day. But when you think about things in the long run, does she have any golly, what any bad habits or something like that? I mean, it's like, what does she like to do?
I know she's like a big traveler. From what I hear, she likes to travel a lot. I've heard about that. She typically she's like, I guess you could say she's like a partier. I would say she's a partier at 43. She's still in the party stage, I would say.
Still in the party stage, 43 years old.
Brings up the word social butterfly all the time. I know she likes to do some, and depending on the event, she does like to do, some psychedelics, if you will.
Well, now, boy, this is opening a whole nother box.
Yeah, I heard she has a history of hardcore stuff, but
hardcore drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Woo. How long have they been going out?
Less than a month. I will say that.
Okay, so yeah, we are definitely still in the I love lust stage of that relationship, because when I'm checking this checklist, this are you sure it's going to work out check sheet, now we've added partier, and at times does hardcore drugs. So she's doing Woodstock drugs, acid and shit like that. That's would be my assumption. Acid,
yep.
Maybe a line, definitely some pills.
In the realm, yep.
Okay, so, boy. So now it makes sense why none of her kids live with her. So And okay, so if he really cares about, if he sees a long distance future with this woman, for her best interest, this is just my advice. This is based on the information that you've given me. Is all jokes aside, he needs to have a serious conversation with her, try to get her some help, and at the same time, let her know that she needs to grow up. Yeah. Because when you say still in the party phase, and you're 43 years old, this would be my personal advice to this woman. Put down the hard psychedelic drugs, stop partying all the time, smoke some weed if you want to get high, take some cooking lessons, and you might have a relationship that lasts a long time.
Yep. Yeah, I could agree with that.
That's all I'm saying. And I mean, and the watermelon salad, I mean, do we chalk that up to ignorance, or were you really taking a jab at somebody for that? Like,
right.
That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying.
I think she was mad because he didn't take her to get some food, bro. I was like, yeah.
Bro, everybody knows the tale is old as time. The quickest way to a man's heart is through his stomach. And if you don't cook, not even a little bit, because look, I'm a dude who myself doesn't mind cooking. I like to cook. I don't mind cooking at all. But every now and again, goodness gracious, you'd like to come home and have your woman make you a nice home cooked meal and just be, you know, and just chill. You know, and to not even do that, boy, oh boy, and you look at all of these factors, you wonder why at 43 years old, a woman like this is on the market.
Uh-huh. Right.
You know, I would say, okay, I would say it's more understandable if he said, oh yeah, she's 43 and she got 3 kids. All 3 of her kids live with her. Okay, cool. Understand. That happens sometimes. But 43 years old, party animal, kids don't live with her, no cooking, heavy drugs. Okay. Boy. When that nay gets a little boring, things are going to get real different. Things are going to get real interesting.
Yep. You're right about that.
I'm telling you.
And the things that you thought you like about someone, and then when the stuff starts to, that stuff fades, it's like that. You weren't.
When that fairy dust starts to wear off, things will get very interesting. And I'd be willing to bet that all 3 of her kids are not from the same guy. Just a guess.
Yeah, I would wager that as well.
Yeah, just a guess. That's all. I'm just saying. And mind you, to the listening audience, I'm not trying to judge anybody. I'm just taking the information that Mr. Anonymous is telling me, and I'm just basing my opinion on that, you know.
Yeah.
And I know there are 2 sides to every story. That's cool. That's fine. And I'm not sitting here and saying that anybody's a bad person. Watermelon salad, you should have a pie thrown in your face for that shit. But I'm just looking at if this stuff that you're saying is factual. 43 years old, okay, factual. 3 kids, none of them live with you, factual. Don't have your own crib, living with a roommate, factual. Taking psychedelic drugs, okay. I mean, if that's factual, that ain't good. If you're not cooking, that ain't good. You know, I'm just saying, you know, it reaches a point in time of your life, and coming from me, nobody should want to hear this coming from me, because I am a goofball extraordinaire. I am goofy. I am silly. And it is what it is, but I am proud of it. But I'm also a grown-ass man. And even I would suggest growing up to this person.
Yeah. Yep.
Because I am a grown-ass man who loves to cook, who has a job, who had my kids live with me. Got my own spot, and my kids live with me. And like I said, I'm not saying that to say that I'm better than this person, but, you know, the hardest drug I've ever done is weed. You know, all the other stuff, the pills, the acid, the promethazines, that's for the birds. Y'all can kick rocks and flip flops with that shit.
Yeah.
I'm just not doing that. But
Yeah.
I would be telling this woman this just for the betterment of her own life. Like, it's time to your life needs to be pointed in another direction. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
You need to point it in another direction. You know, that's all. Maybe go to church. Maybe commit to a church and see where things take you from there.
Yep.
Because it made a big difference. It made a big difference in my life. Because, bro, you remember when I was at my lowest.
Yep.
Woo. Oh, my goodness. All I can say is God is good all the time, and all the time God is good. But watermelon salad, I hope he doesn't take her to the watermelon festival, because that's going to open a whole nother can of worms. Well, all right, bro. I ain't going to hold you up. Know you got work to do, man. I'm going to get at you in a bit, all right?
Yes, sir.
Hey, remember, birthday coming up, fam. Let's go out and chill and have some fun.
Hey, 2 more weeks, man.
Is it really 2 more weeks to my birthday?
I guess 2. Maybe.
No, the July 19th, 3.
3, okay.
Okay. Golly. You keeping up with my birthday more than I am. Damn.
It's close.
It is. It is. All right, homie.
All right, big dog.
Later.
Later.
All right. Oh, man, I'm not giving out any names in that, but again, I don't want to, I don't want anybody to think I'm coming across as judgmental, think I'm better than. I don't. I really don't. I want to see everybody win, but wow, that's special. Watermelon salad. Ooh, Lord. Clear example of somebody perhaps not wearing the glasses with the same color lens as other people. But, we'll see where that one goes. But without further ado, folks, let's get to it. Again, as I said earlier in the show, unless you are an avid Major League Baseball fans, welcome to the dog days of summer. But the NBA is maybe just getting started with this free agency period. And the big story for the last week has been Kyrie Irving. Now, Kyrie Irving has a player option that he could exercise for the Brooklyn Nets, where he would get about $37 million. Or he could opt out and become a free agent. Now, Kyrie Irving seems to think he wants the max extension, which would be about $250 million. And I can understand that. That's a lot of money. But here is my issue right here. And I am a huge Kyrie Irving fan. I've been a Kyrie fan since his early days in Cleveland, because bro is just a magician on the court. But bro, the Brooklyn Nets would be foolish to give you a max contract. You have not earned a max contract. Kyrie Irving has played only, about 35% of the games since joining the Brooklyn Nets in 2019. Yeah, that's crazy. Now, I'm not going to be overly critical like one Stephen A. Smith could be, but all of Stephen A.'s points are actually valid when it comes to Kyrie's lack of participation on the basketball court in terms of just showing up to work. I mean, in 2019, you only played 20 games because Kevin Durant wasn't there. But I mean, whatever. I mean, nobody saw the coronavirus coming. No, nobody saw that. Nobody saw the pandemic coming. Okay, cool. But the personal days and you being affected by what happened at the Capitol on June 6th, then the decision of not to get vaccinated, which, was a personal decision. Me personally thinks that, and have thought and still thinks that every professional athlete should get vaccinated because of your job description. He chose not to do so. He only played in 30 some odd games this season. It totally split the team down the middle. James Harden got sick of it, ended up getting traded to the Philadelphia 76ers. And for whatever reason, it's always a reason why Kyrie Irving is not on the basketball court. Over these past 3 seasons, Kyrie Irving as a basketball player has been an absolute embarrassment. Not when he's on the floor, he is a showstopper. But for the reasons upon reasons upon reasons why he does not want to play basketball, he's said it himself that there are things more important than basketball. And I get it. This is nothing to do with Kyrie Irving, the person. But Kyrie Irving, the player, I would not offer him a max contract. What I think Kyrie Irving should do is opt in, because for one, the reason why Kevin Durant is in Brooklyn is because of you. So the fact is that since you guys have come to Brooklyn, we knew Kevin Durant was going to miss the entire season because he tore his Achilles at the end of the finals in 2019 with Golden State. So you knew he was not going to play for a full season. But since then, Kevin Durant has held up his end of the bargain. Kyrie Irving, you have not. So they're talking about you ducking and maybe going to the Lakers to reunite with LeBron. So wait a minute, you're going to get your homeboy to follow you to Brooklyn. You ain't going to hold up your end of the bargain. Then you going to dip and go cross country to play a game with LeBron. That'd be some messed up stuff. What I think he should do is commit to next year, maybe having a prove-it year, because he has not held up his end of the bargain contractually. This is what I say when I say I'm sick and tired of players cheating the game. When I say that I am I love the NBA was my first team sport love. I'm a basketball purist. But when I talk about players who have cheated the game and who continuously cheat the game, who want to get paid more for playing less, Kyrie Irving is one of those people who has done that, particularly over the last 3 years. I mean, I don't know if he's ever played a full 82 games in his career. I mean, the dude has an injury history, so that's bad enough. Now you want to take sabbaticals and take personal time off, and then reports have come out that after Steve Nash would have a team practice, you would conduct your own practice. It's like, dude, I'm not trying to be funny. You're really full of yourself, and you are an awesome basketball player, but you should have a prove-it deal. I mean, hell, I ain't never heard of nobody's prove-it deal making them $37 million or $36 million. I ain't never heard that one. And you owe it to the Brooklyn Nets, and more importantly, you owe it to Kevin Durant. Come out there and play next season. If you have Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, let's assume Ben Simmons is going to be healthy, because who knows with him. But the Nets would still be considered one of the favorites to come out of the Eastern Conference. And I truly think that he should do that. And then after next season, and here's the crazy part about this is what frustrates me about basketball. I've heard a lot of people on TV saying, yeah, Kyrie, just come out, play this one season for the Nets, play 60 or 65 games. Fuck you mean play 60 or 65 games? Biatch. Have the standards for NBA players now gotten so low where we'll take 60 or 65 games out of an 82-game season as a victory? This is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about cheating the game. Play 60 or 65 games? Nah, bruh. How about you give your best attempt to play 82 games? You know, like what it says in your, what's that word? Contract. Yeah, 60 to 60. This is what irritates me the most about today's NBA players. And the Brooklyn Nets, who didn't help themselves at all by really being an enabler the first 3 seasons. Literally, since 2019, you've let Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant call the shots in your organization. And what has it got you? Nothing. In 2021, you were a big toe away from possibly advancing to an NBA Finals, or you would have been advancing to an Eastern Conference championship, but it is what it is. Now, again, and Kevin Durant, Kevin Durant needs to put his fingerprints on this. And maybe he has, and he's just not letting the media know, which wouldn't surprise me. But that's the worrisome thing now. Well, if the Nets let Kyrie go, it could upset Kevin Durant, and then he might demand a trade. I'm sure Kevin Durant knows. I'm sure his representation has told him, dude, I mean, how can you defend this? You know, he has not held up his end of the bargain since you guys have joined in Brooklyn. KD got to know, man, this is business. This is business. And right now, Kyrie Irving has not handled his business as a basketball player. He's barely on the court. There's always a reason. He and he acts as if he's better than, that he's better than and more important than the organization, the coach, or anything like that. It's been an embarrassment. It really has. And for actions like Kyrie Irving, James Harden, Ben Simmons, I'm telling you, when it's time for a collective bargaining negotiation, the owners are gonna wipe the floor with the players because of those 3 people. And I'm being dead serious. And they should. They should, because, like I said, I'm all for player empowerment. but don't take advantage of it. I'm sorry, if I'm putting myself in the owner's position now. If I'm an owner, why the hell do I want to pay you more to play less? That don't make no sense.
You must be out of your goddamn mind.
And I really think Kyrie Irving owes this last year, for one, to Kevin Durant, the Nets organization, and to himself. Because if Kyrie comes out and balls out, you think anybody's going to hesitate to give him a max deal? But you have to prove that you're committed to playing basketball. That's what you have to prove. And over the last 3 years, it's been anything but. It's really been anything but a true commitment to the team and to winning a championship. I mean, if winning championships isn't that important to him, then okay, then playing, you should be able to play anywhere. If winning a championship, if they trade you to Sacramento, then you shouldn't be mad. But I think the Nets would be a damn fool to give Kyrie Irving a max extension. That's just my opinion. And that's nothing personal. That is all about business. Kyrie Irving has not handled his business as a basketball player for the Brooklyn Nets. The Brooklyn Nets can look at themselves a little bit too for putting up with it. They should have put their foot down a long time ago. I mean, when he said that he wasn't getting vaccinated, and trust me, the New York mandate was dumb as hell. It was dumb as shit. I agreed 100% with Kyrie Irving on that one, because the fact that you let visiting players come in and play that are unvaccinated was just stupid. But the Nets should have, they did themselves no favors. When he said he wasn't going to get vaccinated, they said, well, you know what? We don't want him around the team. We want players who want to play. And then as soon as injuries started to hit, well, we could take him as a part-time player. Kyrie probably just sitting there is like, gotcha, bitch. But I guess this is Brooklyn Nets' chance to pretty much take their franchise back. So I would let Kyrie know, and I think he has till Wednesday to decide what he's going to do. I would say, hey, bro, you opt in, you play. I wouldn't say no 60, 65 games. I would not come out my mouth with shit like that. Tell him, you do the best that you can to play the entirety of the regular season. And we'll see if you do that and you show a commitment to playing basketball, a commitment to winning a championship. Of course we will give you a max deal, but it cannot be this year because we've barely seen you on the court for the past 3 years. That's all I'm saying. And now I'm going to get the opinion of my bro. He ain't been here for the last couple of shows, but he back today. What's happening with you, Tony?
Yo, what's up?
Hey, yeah, long time no hear from you, playboy.
Yeah, it's been too long.
Been too long, but hey, let's jump straight right into it. Kyrie Irving, I've given my opinion on what the Nets should do and what Kyrie Irving should do about this little contract dispute. What say your opinion on it, sir?
I say the Nets need to let the man walk. Either let the man walk or try to work out some kind of sign and trade. If there is a team out there that's willing to risk it for Kyrie Irving's services, try to comp something out of it, but if you can't, let him walk.
So you're saying get rid of him all in general. So let's say if Kyrie Irving says, if Kyrie Irving says, okay, I'll opt in to play this 1 year under the third, get the $37 million, you would still want to get rid of him anyway?
He's not playing for the year. Kyrie Irving shows up when Kyrie Irving wants to show up. He plays when he wants to play. It's still the vaccination issue. So are you really getting your money's worth? You're paying $30-something million for potentially 30-something games. It's a culture thing. You got a lot of young players on there and on that squad. You got the veteran core, but you got a lot of young players on there that you'd like to keep on that roster and get them in a winning mindset, a work hard mindset, where Kyrie Irving is exactly the opposite. He's exactly the opposite. So, rather than have that drama around my franchise for yet another year and then have to go through, I would just jettison now. I would go ahead and cut the cancer out now.
Okay. So, all right. So, and now what do you think, how do you think Kevin Durant would react to that?
Well, to be fair, at this point, I don't care about Kevin Durant's feelings because Kevin Durant is already in this mindset, irregardless of the rumors that's going on with Kyrie right now. Kevin Durant is already playing media games in terms of his status with the Nets organization. So you can't, we learn with LeBron, man, you can't let the players be the GM. You got to do what's in the best interest of your franchise as the owner and as the GM. And I mean, you can take Kevin Durant's feelings in consideration, but in no way should he be walking that office throwing in demands. Again, because Kevin Durant's services are in demand around this league, and you can get a haul for him. So you tell Kevin Durant, this is the direction that we're moving in. Otherwise, we will honor your trade request, and you go out there and get that bag for him and keep it moving. Just rebuild your franchise and start, because if you don't see the Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant combo as being able to win you a title, then why are you going through the drama?
Right.
It's not worth it. There's a star power dynamic. I mean, butts are going to be in the seats anyway. It's Brooklyn. So you can move Kevin Durant for a haul if you really had to. So you don't let the players hold you hostage, not especially if you're in that position. You can't let them hold your franchise hostage.
Well, I said this earlier before we got on the line. I said if I was the Brooklyn Nets, I would be doing the exact same thing, because for the last 3 years, you've let Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant run the franchise, and it's gotten you absolutely nowhere. It's gotten you more trouble than good. Now, I would not want to get rid of Kevin Durant, but like you said, if Kevin Durant at the end of the day, this is still business, and Kevin Durant needs to understand that his boy has not held up his end of the bargain. Now, in terms of trading chips for Kevin Durant, I've heard that that if, let's just say, just a scenario, that if Kevin Durant says, okay, you're not gonna bring Kyrie back, or you're gonna let Kyrie walk, or you're gonna decide and trade him. Now, I want to get traded. I've heard things come up like, why don't you could go to Phoenix and get DeAndre Ayton, Mikal Bridges, and some draft picks. What would you think about that?
I would do it in a heartbeat. I would do it in a heartbeat. Again, you're not winning a championship as the Nets are currently constructed anyway. And Kevin Durant is getting a little long in the tooth. Ayton, Bridges are young with upside, and you're getting draft picks too. I would do it. I would do everything I could do to keep Claxton. I would do everything I could do to keep the young players and just hit the reset button and roll.
Okay, now, well, let me ask you another question. So let's say all of this drama ends up being for nothing, and you have KD, Kyrie, and Ben Simmons with role players like Seth Curry, Patty Mills, Joe Harris will be back. You don't think the Nets would be in contention to win a championship if they keep their roster as is, even if they're healthy?
No, because, again, you're still going to have the same dynamic. Health is becoming an issue off and on for Kevin Durant.
Right.
Again, Kyrie is what Kyrie is. You'll be lucky if you get 35, 40 games out of him. Ben Simmons is still laying on somebody's couch talking about it.
Woo!
Yeah, so on paper, when they made the trade, it looked the same way it looks now. Good on paper.
It looked the same way it did when they got the trade for Harden.
Right. So on paper, and from a team, it actually matching up to on court. I still say they got a long way to go, and they're not better than the Bucks.
Nope.
They're not, and there's questions as to whether or not they'd even be better than the Sixers, for real. So just from a continuity standpoint. So I like I said, I would move. To be fair, there's rumors out there that there's teams interested in Portland and Sacramento are interested in Simmons. Man, I would field those calls. I don't care that Brooklyn traded for him. I would field the calls just to see what them teams are willing to offer for that dude and see if I can maximize my trade profit. At the end of the day, if I can get 2-3 players that are not head cases and draft picks for Simmons, I move him.
Oh, let me tell you something. If Portland offered Damian Lillard for Ben Simmons, I'm making that trade.
Well, that's not going to happen because Jeremy Grant is in Portland now. So Portland is trying to build a team around Dame. So I don't see that happening. That would be a negative move for Portland.
No, I'm talking about if I'm just saying if Portland would have offered that to Brooklyn, if I'm Brooklyn, hell yeah, I would take that.
Oh, yeah, of course I would take it, but Portland's not going to do that because, again, they're trying to keep Dame and trying to give him a chance to win, so they're trying to assemble pieces around him, not get rid of him to assemble pieces, so I don't see that happening, but again, there's talk that there's interest there, and I would field those calls, regardless of me never having had Ben Simmons on the court for a game yet. I would field those calls. Because for real, you made that move to get rid of it. Was it you wanted Ben Simmons that bad, Brooklyn, or was it that you were just trying to get rid of Harden? If it's more so just trying to get rid of Harden and trying to recoup whatever you could recoup, then yeah.
Well, the trade made sense for both teams because Philadelphia was really trying to get rid of Ben Simmons, and Brooklyn may have really been trying to get rid of Harden.
Right. So if I'm both of those teams, I'd be fielding calls if there was any market out there. I'd say there's more of a market out there for Simmons than there is Harden. But if I could recoup something, if I could get something for Harden, I based on what I've seen thus far, I would try. I would listen to those offers. I would not hang up the phone without listening to them offers.
I believe that the only reason why there would be more of a market for Ben Simmons would strictly be for age.
Yep. Age and upside. Age and upside. So
I don't know. He may have damaged his upside because he's almost like Kyrie. You have to prove it because there are a lot of people and players included that feel that Ben Simmons is full of shit.
Yeah,
and he earned it.
That feel like it.
You said what?
I said I'm one of those people that feel like that about Ben Simmons.
Me too.
I'm fielding calls like on everybody. There's very few people out there now that I would not at least listen to offers for.
So there was the question. Let me veer off of Kyrie Irving. There were questions about LeBron James and whether he would go back to Cleveland after this season, because after this season with the Lakers, he would be a free agent. If you're the Cleveland Cavaliers, would you want to sign LeBron James?
Nope. I got a team that's on the upswing. Injuries took their toll with them at the end of the season, and then and so I got young players that seem hungry. They got a good work ethic. These dudes are only going to get better. I do not want LeGM coming in and messing up the chemistry that these dudes are developing. More importantly, you're not coming in and telling me, now I got to trade for your buddy and I got to sign this dude, this bench warmer because you want this old veteran dude on there. You want me to go get Udonis Haslam and you want me to get Mario Chalmers from Big Three. And,
you saw him the other day. Yeah.
You want me to do all that stuff? No, I'm not going to do that. And no, I'm not going to draft your son. I'm not going to commit to drafting your son. So, I leave LeBron right where LeBron is. He got a chip in Cleveland. Good enough for me. I'd leave him right there because I wouldn't want to mess up, again, the rapport that my team got. Imagine LeBron on that team and you taking the ball out of Garland's hand. Garland is on the upswing.
Yes, he is.
So you want him to continue on the trajectory that he's in and not relegate him to standing behind the line waiting for LeBron to make a move and throw him the ball. And bringing the ball up the court either. So I leave him right where he is. Your team is a playoff contender in the East as currently constructed. You don't need to move any of them pieces for LeBron. Those pieces are good pieces. They're viable pieces. Yeah, you might end up trading those pieces for a complementary piece that you feel better fits your team, but you don't gut that team to try to get LeBron James. And the Lakers would want a haul.
That's the difference. I'm not talking about a trade.
You're talking about free agent. Well,
yes.
Even from a free agent standpoint, again, bringing in LeBron, unless he's taking, the vet minimum, that money that LeBron's still going, because LeBron still think he's the best player in the league. Nah, you don't shell out $30-something million for LeBron James.
Well, he's not the best player in the league, but I would still say he's top 5.
I'd leave him right where he is.
Well, I see.
In order to get those numbers, is to the detriment of your team.
I would say this because if it came to I really don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you at all. I think the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to make the playoffs this coming up season. I really do. I think, like you said, injuries, if it wasn't for injuries, they wouldn't have even had to play in the play-in game. They would have been there. I believe they have a good, solid nucleus. I would not trade for LeBron. No. And I would, if he was a free agent and entertain the fact of showing interest of wanting to come back to Cleveland, I would listen. I'm not sitting there saying I would do it, but I would listen. Because for one thing, I'm not getting rid of any of my young pieces to satisfy LeBron James. Not at this point in his career. And he would have to have a commitment to playing off of the ball, because the players are gonna the young players will respect him so much where that could potentially hurt their game. Now, I'm like you. I don't believe LeBron would come back to Cleveland, honestly, because his business, he don't want to leave LA. He may not want to play for the Lakers, but his business is, his business and everything else is now out there in California. That's why do you think he keeps putting these little tidbits of information of, I would play for the Warriors, because he really don't want to leave California. He just don't want to play for the Kings. He ain't gonna play for the Clippers because they don't need him, but the Warriors don't need him neither.
Exactly.
They back on top of the throne. They back on top of the throne, and they saying fuck all y'all. They say we don't need none of y'all. I love Draymond Green, but I think LeBron's best bet, honestly, is, and I'm not a LeBron fan, but I'm a diehard Laker fan. But his best bet, unless he's gonna go to a small market team, which at this point in his career, this point in his life, he's not going to do, is just figure it out in LA. You made this mess by having to get the 2K12 All-Stars. Now clean it up.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
And did you see that the night of the draft? Say what?
I said that's kind of where I'm at with it too, because this is not the first time he did this. He did this in Cleveland before he took his talents to South Beach, played LeGim, get this guy, get Antoine Jameson, get that guy, and blah blah blah, and then left Cleveland high and dry with the baggage, the aftermath after he didn't win. So
Ben Wallace, Shaquille O'Neal, all those guys.
Yeah, and then and then I think my bigger thing with him, man, is okay, you could have made your move to South Beach if that's what you wanted to do, but they collaborated and went out their way to make sure they screwed all the other teams in the process by dragging out a decision that they knew they had already made. They did that. So, and largely you'd have to believe LeBron was behind that. So screw LeBron James. I really don't care what he do, but if I'm Cleveland, I stay clear of him and roll with what I got. I got a team on the upswing. They just need to gel a little bit more. Maybe they missing one piece, but that piece is not necessarily LeBron James.
And the night of the draft, I don't know if you saw that the Lakers they signed Scottie Pippen Jr. and Sharif O'Neal.
Yeah, I saw that. That's it. Here we go. Media circus, but here we go.
I don't see them really seeing no time on the floor, at least this coming up season. Maybe Scottie Pippen Jr., because I actually watched him play a couple of games at Vanderbilt, and to be honest, if he had went to a better university, he probably would have been a first-round pick. But or at least he would have got drafted. He's maybe one of those guys who likes to be the big fish in the small pond. I don't know. But yeah, I don't see him or Sharif O'Neal seeing any really significant seeing any time at all. I mean, I'm sure they'll be in the G League, but I don't know if I could see them actually being on the Lakers rotation. So how do you think that your Chicago Bulls did in the draft?
I scratched my head, but don't. We need bigs. We needed bigs. There were a couple bigs there. I trust AK with the draft because he hasn't missed. But did we really need another combo guard / small forward? This guy has a lot of upside. He by all accounts, he was a good pick if you needed that at that position. I guess if you're looking, say, down the road, because DeRozan is up there and you're trying to develop another young rotational piece for now. I get it. Kill them with depth, but at some point they're gonna have to address size, and I don't know if that's gonna come in the form of Mitchell Robinson or whatever they choose to do. But I would have drafted that size. Me personally, I would have drafted that size. You don't need another guard, but maybe this is also partially because of Lonzo. I think if Lonzo's prognosis is fully healthy and yada, 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 then maybe you don't draft that. But I think because Lonzo's knee situation is tenuous right now, I think that's why they made that draft. So I have no problem with the kid, with the player, none. It's just that we need size. So I guess this was a coverage for Lonzo and also a future. Based on potential, because you're only going to have DeRozan but so long. So maybe that's what that pick was about.
You know, I was kind of surprised when the Lakers actually traded into the draft. But I'm gonna tell you, and I ain't even being funny on this. You know, the player who I believe really actually lost the most in the draft, and it's not even his fault. I don't know if you heard about this player, Dyson Daniels.
No.
He was the number 8 overall pick. Hold on one second. Let me pull this info up. But he was he was an Australian basketball player. I do know that. He was a number 8 overall pick. And his mama, oh my God. He was drafted by the Pelicans. His mother stole the headlines, stole the draft.
She like Duncan's mom?
Huh?
Is she like Duncan's mom was?
Better.
Got drafted?
Better. And the reason why I say I feel bad for him is because now any veteran teammates that he has, or veteran opponents that he's going to go up against, is going to say something about his mama. They're going to be asking about his mama because she looked flat out gorgeous. Flat out gorgeous. And the kid's only 19. And the mama looked like she's still let's see, I don't know a correct friendly way to term it, to phrase it, but if I was this young kid, I would be worried about mama smashing some teammates or teammates trying to smash mama. We could have a whole nother situation like LeBron and Delonte West all them years ago.
Well, I mean, people need to, I guess, put it in context. These kids, these are kids coming out, you know, and he's only 19, so yeah, it's conceivable that mom is under 40. You know, she might be over 40, but certainly she might be under 40, and if she is, then, I mean, really, what you expect? What you expect? You know, the fact that she fine is, it's bound to happen.
Oh, I guarantee you, a teammate, an opposing player, or a coach, somebody gonna shoot some eyes at your mama.
Yeah. Now, I will say this: assuming that something would go down, that would be, I guess, denigrating his mama, because I think most NBA mamas, not named LeBron mama, tend to stay away from that.
Not Larsa Pippen.
But that's a wife. That's not.
Yeah, but her son is now in the league.
Yeah.
And was dating a player.
Yeah, but she already, that's somebody that already had that surrounding her. She was married to a player, and then she followed that by dealing with other players. So that's already a thing. But it's a off. Well, to the extent that we hear about it, it's not a popular thing. We haven't heard about that in the history of the league. We haven't heard about that a lot.
No, and it needs to. Hopefully for this kid, hopefully it stays that way, because, like I said, I saw his mama. I take a flyer on his mama. I ain't gonna lie, she's bad, bro. Well, she's bad. But oh man, it's raining outside now. Let me transition off of off of football. I mean, off of basketball to football. But you look that player up, Dyson Daniels, and you'll see pictures of his mama. And she bum. But the disciplinary hearing for Deshaun Watson starts tomorrow. Now, since the last time I talked about him, and David was just absolutely hilarious, but since last Monday, Deshaun Watson has settled with 20 of the 24 victims in these sexual misconduct cases. And now we're moving on to what the disciplinary action is going to be. There's still 4 cases out there. What do you think is going to be the grandioso suspension for Deshaun Watson?
I think it's going to end up being a year.
Okay. So, and do you think that, okay, let's say that, you know how the Players Association can get suspensions brought down. So if they say a full season, do you think that the Players Association can get it brought down to, let's say, 10 games?
No. Nope. I just think it's too much controversy surrounding it. I think it's too many settlements. It's not like it was one. He'd be looking at that if it was just one female. It's like 20 something that he settled with. So, I think the aggregate number on that is going to warrant a year.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. His people will lobby behind the scenes and say he only settled because of this reason or that reason. He just wants to get on with his life because that's good lawyer speak. But at the end of the day, it's still a PR thing, and you got X amount of female NFL fans, and because of that fact alone, not wanting to look a certain way, appearance sake, the NFL is going to have to.
Okay, and I'm going to ask you this question. Now, we know that Deshaun Watson is not being criminally charged with anything, and he actually has already missed a year of football due to this. To me, I know partly due to this, because I mean, what hasn't been said is, yeah, he missed all the last football season. He also said before all of these cases came out that he was never going to play for the Houston Texans again. He was already demanding a trade. But be that as it may, seeing that how he's not being criminally charged with anything, do you think that he still has the right? He should still have the right to make a living?
No, absolutely not. As I said to you off the podcast, Ezekiel Elliott, I'm a Cowboy. Same situation, but he got, was it 6 games or 8 games that Zeke got?
I think it was like 8.
For nothing, for not being charged criminally with anything. And they went so far as to, you don't really see this in too many cases where the prosecutor makes a public statement that they're choosing not to for lack of evidence. That was the public statement given by the DA. So, NFL, what evidence do you have that that this prosecutor could not get their hands on? And if you had that evidence, why wouldn't you turn it over to the prosecutor? You didn't have that evidence. You suspend him strictly as a PR move. Well, again, keep that energy. Stay consistent. Either get rid of it, stop doing it to everybody, or do it to everybody. But don't pick and choose when it comes to that. It's not fair, from a fan standpoint. It's not fair to say, okay, well, this guy is this, and we made this decision at that time, but we're going to make this decision based on this player because we have issues with the owner or whatever, because that's the way it appears. So I say treat it the same. Keep that same energy.
Okay.
No, he does not have that right, because Zeke didn't have that right. So Zeke didn't have that right, and to a lesser degree, Lyle Collins didn't have that right.
Tom Brady,
So yeah, keep that same energy. Treat everybody the same.
I'm gonna have to say that I don't disagree with that. I just thought it was funny because it was something happening to the Cowboys. But on all jokes aside, and you call me a Cowboys troll, yeah, I am. I own that. But when it comes to, I want to see everybody be able to play and get their money. And you're right. If you're going to be consistent, whether it's consistently good or consistently bad, be consistent. And I think that Deshaun Watson's camp will probably throw out there that, hey, we already sat out a year last year due to this. But then again, like I said, he had demanded to be traded. That's why I thought all of this stuff was such a crazy coincidence that, like, literally a week after he demands to be traded from the Texans, now we have multiple multiple sexual misconduct cases against him. It was just crazy. But, like, I agree with you. Yeah. I do. Yeah. If you're going to be consistent with one, you have to be consistent with everyone. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Now, we've never discussed this on the podcast, and I just heard today that there's a trial for Brittany Griner, who has been locked up in Russia for about a quarter of a year now. Of course, I hope that the offense was dumb. We'll get into that. I hope she gets out soon. She's more of a political pawn now, it seems to me, in that way. But her detention was extended 6 months. And how do you feel about that situation?
Honestly, and this will be an unpopular opinion, but I feel like you get what you ain't called for. You're a stranger in a strange land. You were told to leave. You were told the reason why you were told to leave, and you watch the news just like everybody else. You know that this country is about to go to war, invade another country, and you were told by United States government officials it's time for you to leave. Clearly, it was bad judgment. It ain't that serious. CBD, like literally, you could have got that anywhere outside of Russia. You got money. You don't make NBA money, but you make enough money where you could afford to do that. Yeah. Brittany Griner, it was bad judgment, and they're within their rights. It's their law. It's the law here. That's the thing. That's the thing that people need to understand. If she did the same thing at the airport here, they would have arrested her just here. So for you to do that, they didn't set her up. No one, planted it on her. No one, she made herself a target. And because of the situation, people need to understand Russia is not our friend. We have Russians in our jail, high Russian officials in our prisons right now, and being detained. So yes, of course they would use her as a political thing, but she made herself the target because believe it or not, Russians have not detained, abducted any American citizens for just being American citizens. They know that would violate the Geneva Convention, and then you would potentially have a conflict. So they stay within the parameters of the law. You made yourself vulnerable by breaking their law. I'm sympathetic to it, and yeah, I do think that she should be released. But again, America's holding Russians. They're detained. They haven't gotten a trial. They haven't anything. Whatever. So
basically, they're war criminals.
Whether they were a spy or whatever, but they've never gotten a trial. They're just being detained by the U.S. government in the jail.
Right.
Well, if I was Russia and my people, I would say, you want your person back? She broke our law. You're saying our person may have violated some of your law. Fair exchange is no robbery. Brittany Griner should have been back in the United States, and all that. And the only thing that has to happen is United States has to give up what they view as an asset sitting in a jail somewhere.
So what is the difference between a case like this with Brittany Griner? Remember a couple of years ago when you had LiAngelo Ball and a couple of kids from UCLA that were locked up, was it China or Japan?
I think it was China.
Yeah, they were locked up in China for stealing when they were at UCLA. But the Ball brother got out rather quickly. What's the difference between that?
The difference is, one, we are not in a proxy war with China. We are in a technological war with China, but we're not in a proxy war. The United States is directly supplying arms to Ukraine, the country that Russia is in a war with. The only thing is you don't have Americans pushing the buttons or pulling the trigger. So to that extent, we're in a proxy war. We are literally at war with Russia by proxy. Ukraine is the proxy at this point. Joe Biden he's at the convention now, the G whatever convention, and he just announced more aid coming from another set of billions of dollars from the United States going to Ukraine. We're in a war. And that's the difference. We were not in a war with China.
Okay.
So that's the difference. Like, that's the difference. And then the other thing is, even though the relationship with China and America is tenuous, how many Chinese people live here in America?
A lot.
How many Americans are in China? A whole lot.
A lot.
Lives are not in jeopardy. You know, it's provided they follow the laws. There's certain things that even if you're an adversarial country, you draw lines and respect these things. The United States and America have never really drawn that line.
NATO?
They're not part of NATO. Neither one are part of NATO. China's not part of NATO either.
Okay. That's London, right?
Yeah, London.
Okay.
England.
Okay.
Or Great Britain, rather.
The UK.
But, yeah, UK. As a whole. But, you know, there are certain lines that these countries do not cross. Russia and Syria are in bed together. These are countries that are looked at as being ran by dictators. China, Xi Jinping is not necessarily thought of in a world context as a dictator. He's an elected official, but they don't look at him as same as Assad and Putin, and you know those people will kill people. You've never heard any rumors out of China anybody being killed or them gassing people or anything like that. So one of them things is not like the other, is my point. And if something happened with you in China, there's a good chance, diplomatically speaking, yeah, they'll let you go, because again, you have dual citizenship. So many dual citizens here in America that are Chinese that it keeps a channel open, I guess, between China and America of communication. Russia and America, it's never been. It was Russia, and they were never, connected to America. Then Russia became part of the Soviet Union, and they were always sitting facing each other, looking with the red buttons in front. Who gonna press it first?
Man, I swear, we all just need to get together and watch Rocky IV, maybe a blunt or two, and a shot of some 80 proof, and get over this.
Change. If I could
change, and you could change, everyone can change.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't live in that thing. Western civilization versus Eastern civilization have never agreed on the way things should be, and I don't think they ever will. So,
well, still praying for Brittany Griner and hope that she gets out. And hope she gets out soon. Definitely sooner rather than later. I think she's been in there too long, but I cannot argue with the points that you brought up, because if she was told to leave, she should have just got the hell out of Dodge. No CBD, no nothing, because there was the pounds of it waiting for you back in the United States. But I definitely hope that she gets out soon, and definitely praying for her. But all right, my man. It's almost time for me to do some daddy stuff, even though it's raining. I'm about to make my kids some lunch. But you good though, homie?
Yeah.
Any pardon shots?
No, not really. I mean, that's pretty much everything that's going on in the world today.
Have you watched the new Netflix movie with Kevin Hart and Woody Harrelson? The thing's called The Man from Toronto.
I actually sold it, but didn't watch it yet. I just watched the preview for it. I said I'd get around to it, but I'm binge watching because my wife never watched Breaking Bad. And so I'm binge watching that because she's caught me watching Better Call Saul a few times, and I'm like, no, you got to watch Breaking Bad because that's the where that came from, the series where that came from, and Breaking Bad is like way. I mean, Saul is good, but Breaking Bad was great. It literally is in that top. I'm gonna say in that top 5, top 10 at worst of series. Okay. Well, definitely. Yeah,
Let's
put it this way: if you liked Ozark, Breaking Bad was way better than Ozark, and Ozark was good. But this was.
I was going to say, really, and Ozark turned out to be my thing.
Yeah, it's way better, way better.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out if it's better than.
I'll give you the general synopsis for those that don't know. It's as I can just tell you, the general synopsis is a guy named Walter White, who's a chemistry teacher at a high school, develops lung cancer. And it just so happens his neighbor, who's a little low-budget white trash meth dealer, he sees an opportunity with this kid to make money to leave to his family. That's what the crux of the story is. And from a cast standpoint, it's great, and a lot of old familiar faces pop up in there that play great characters, like Giancarlo Esposito. You know, he's the man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the man, and his character alone is worth watching it for.
Okay, yeah, you told me about that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. I'm definitely going to have to check that out.
That's why I brought up Ozark, because it's kind of a similar story in that Marty, that's not what Marty was into or anything like that, but he ended up, getting caught up.
Oh, Marty Bird.
And it took on a life of its own.
Oh, Marty Bird.
Same kind of story. He was just trying to make a little money for his family, and then all of a sudden, you got the cartel and all these big drug dealers coming beating on your door.
All these meth dealers.
All of which you're trying to accomplish while your life is on the clock.
Yeah, that seems like the tough spot. Yeah. I mean, you have all of that going on, and then you got also, let's not forget, we got cancer in the picture. Yeah, that's tough. But anyway, I'm going to get at you, bro.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Nice talking to you.
Later. Oh, it had been so long since the last time we had heard from Tony, but on some real serious stuff, I definitely am rooting for Brittany Griner to get home. It's just messed up, the type of world that we live in, where you're being used as a political piece for something that anybody and their mama know is not that serious, but you're being used as a political pawn, and you got a whole family back at home where you're from, a whole family that has been without you for months now for something stupid. Granted, it was not a smart move for her to even have the CBD on you, but I'm like, golly, man, So we definitely rooting for her. We definitely rooting for Brittany Griner to get back home safe, and really rooting for a resolution to all of this bullshit between Russia and Ukraine, and I'm just rooting for all of it to work itself out in a peaceful manner. Honestly, in a peaceful manner, where there's no more tears and no more bloodshed, and lower the damn gas prices for real.
You niggas are crazy.
I mean, damn. Bro, let me tell you something. $50 gets my truck to a half a tank. That's why on my days off, well, I got my kids and I want to spend time with my kids. I love spending time with my kids. I do spend time with my kids, but everything that we do is neighborhood based. Well, I'm talking about, when I say neighborhood based, I'm talking about a 5 to maybe 10 mile radius, depending on where we going. But I live off of Stables Mill. I keeps it in the West End. And I go back to the East End from time to time because that's my home, and I would love to move back there. But right now, bro, you got to maintain a level head as far as gas. And everything else that's becoming so damn expensive, man. I was looking up stuff. My son's birthday is coming up in less than a month, and I'm looking up stuff for the beach because I know the kids want to go to the beach, and I'm looking at the prices for hotels for just 2 days, and I was like, nigga, what? Nigga, no. Can you say day trip, where we will be leaving and coming back on the same damn day? But anyway, let me get back to sports. This Deshaun Watson thing is interesting because I'm just curious to see what the outcome, and I agree with Tony, it'll probably be a year. But I just want to hear what his representation and his side would have to say about everything that's happened over the last over calendar year now. And I'm just interested in hearing what his side would say that would basically try to make it so he doesn't get a full year suspension, because the suspension is coming. suspension is coming. The NFL is seeking for an indefinite suspension, which would last a football season. So I really just want to hear, how are you going to defend yourself, sir? How are you going to defend yourself from being what my cousin eloquently put it last week as a habitual dick shower? That's what I want to know. And are you going to use time served because of last season? So, and then another thing. Also, excuse me, Baker Mayfield. What's the move that you make if you're Baker Mayfield? Because while you haven't really had nothing to do with anything that's going on with the Cleveland Browns, I understand of you being in your feelings because you laid it all on the line, played through injury through the majority of last season, and Cleveland not only said we're going to go in another direction, they went in another direction with a guy who has legal problems. I mean, that is really, really a slap in the face.
Bye, bitch.
And also, not only are you going to hear about my opinions on the Deshaun Watson issue, I got my homeboy on here, Calvin. What up, bro?
What's going on?
Brother Calvin, we heard from you last week. How you living? How you feeling? How you doing?
What's going on, man? You all right?
Oh, man, I'm good, man. I'm good. This Deshaun Watson thing is heating. Well, it's been heating up. I mean, matter of fact, it's overheated right now. But the disciplinary factors of the case starts tomorrow.
Right.
So what do you think? What do you think is going to be the ultimate outcome with this situation?
I think they're going to I don't know, this shit kind of tricky me. I think they're going to try to suspend him for 4, and then it's going to be some national outcry, and then they're going to give him 8 games. But them people, when they gave him all that money and all that without some type of insurance that he will be able to play for them, and you know what I'm saying? And rather that's because that this shit is fugazi, or if it ain't fugazi, it's settled. The whole thing to me seems, you know what I'm saying? And you, if you know me better than anybody, you know, and you know why I feel like this.
Yes, I do. Yes.
So the whole shit is fugazi, like, because the shit didn't happen until after he wanted to get out of Texas.
I mentioned that earlier when I was on here with the skip.
It's shit, like, you can't be farmer than all these people and go unnoticed. All you know what I'm saying? Like, the shit, I just look at the way shit happened. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And then he didn't say he wanted to go away. He said he wanted to leave Houston. And you know, there's an old saying: you don't mess with Texas. And Texas is one of those states, just like Louisiana, and believe it or not, just like Philly, that if they want you, they'll get you. You know what I'm saying?
Well, here's the
those types of states don't mind. They don't mind playing dirty. You know what I'm saying? Look what Louisiana did to Boosters. Look what they did to Smurf. Look what Philly did to, you know what I'm saying? Look what Philly did to Meek Mill. And I'm not trying to be like, you know what I'm saying, hip hop savvy nothing, but Texas got a record of that shit too. Like, they're good old boys. They are one of those states that have that good old boy.
They are the definition of it. They are the they're the definition of it.
Oh, we'll take care of our own. So, you know, this man is a billionaire. And you know, and people, and, you know, this man's a billionaire, so you don't know what kind of connections he got. You fuck me, I fuck you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Even if he don't, and them type of people, they don't even have to, if they swing, they don't even have to hit you. They just have to make enough. They just have to dirty your name. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well,
so they have to have some type of assurance that this boy's gonna play. That's a lot of money. Because why give this nigga all that money and he can't play? They had to have known they gonna get a return, some type of return on their investment. They got to rough him up to make it look good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They got to rough him up to make it look good. Unless all 25 accused come out and say, yeah, we lied, we bribed, you know what I'm saying? Unless that happened, which is highly unlikely, he got to get him. They got to get him. They gonna get their beating out of him. You know what I'm saying?
Well, now here's the thing about it. The NFL is seeking they're looking for an indefinite suspension, which would be for the whole season. So when you say they're gonna suspend him for 4 games, nah, bruh. I think they're gonna start. I think they're gonna start setting the bar at 1 year.
No, when I say
suspend him. Like, I'm not saying that's going to be the one that's going to be executed. I think it's going to be almost like the Ray Rice thing. Like, yeah, we did this. Oh, no, don't do that. Okay, we do this. You know what I'm saying?
The NFL is definitely very reactionary. Now, in regards to the Houston Texans, you do know that the Houston Texans are on the list of people that's on trial now, right?
Yeah.
Because a lot of these women are saying that the Houston Texans were complicit in setting up these massage meetings.
Yeah.
Well, all I know is this. I don't know if you listened to last week's episode, but David was talking about it, and David said that Deshaun Watson is a habitual dick shower. And
yeah.
And that whatever is going to happen with him, you know, he needs to seek some type of therapy, some type of help for that. Because bro obviously has a problem. I'm not saying whether he's guilty or innocent or whatever, but there's a different direction that bro needs to go into. Now, here's the thing that I find interesting. All of these women now, he just settled with 20 of them. Do you know what his base salary is going to be next year, this coming up football season?
What?
$1.5 million. That's it. So even if you suspend him for a full season and you're taking away his $1.5 million, the rest of the $228.5 million of his contract is guaranteed. So he going to be straight regardless. But he gonna be straight regardless if he's even just suspended for a year, which in retrospect would be 2 straight years out of the league. Now I have another question for you. What would you do if you're Baker Mayfield?
Right. That's probably why they ain't getting rid of him. So do he go out there and he play? You know what I'm saying? Or do he go out there and say fuck y'all? You know what I'm saying?
I think
because now if he requests a trade, because that's within his right, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He'd be like, fuck that, you know what I'm saying? Didn't he already request a trade?
He did, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So now, what if he refuses to play? You know what I'm saying?
I
Either
think
he can refuse to play or go out there and play for it and like, fuck it, I'm going to show y'all, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, these people, you wouldn't just do that if you didn't have some type of insurance. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He was going to play, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to be honest with you. This how they get this. I mean, this part of I can just see it like you eat what's in the fishbowl. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You eat what's in the fishbowl. So somebody affiliated with the organization, not necessarily with them, or stands on the sidelines. But look, listen, when you in this city, you call this person, that person, this person, that person. You know what I'm saying? This is what we do. You know, these are people we use. He like, yeah, okay. So now the shit comes turn. And now he don't want to be there no more. Because see, if you do it like that, have you seen Snowfall?
Of course. Have I seen Snowfall? What the hell?
Remember at the beginning of the series when he set him up with the bank, like these are the banks to use.
Yep.
This, that, and the third. And then when they fell foul, when shit was on the back end, when they fell out, he used the banks he set him up with to fuck it.
Yep.
That's what they did. You dig what I'm saying?
No. It's actually a very good analogy. It's actually a very good analogy.
He's Deshaun Watson. He's the quarterback for that franchise in that city. He's just not going tricking. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He's going to do it. He's going to do it how they need to do it.
Yeah. Now if I'm thinking about Baker Mayfield, he seems so butthurt behind this that even if Deshaun Watson is suspended for the full season, Baker could easily say, "Kiss my ass," because they did sign Jacoby Brissett. I think Cleveland was anticipating that, you know, all of this Deshaun Watson stuff would have been resolved, and at least I think when they initially signed just Deshaun Watson, I think that they were anticipating him maybe only playing between 8 and possibly even 4 games this season. But now that the NFL is looking for a year, and that's what I think they're going to do. I think they're going to give him a year. I don't know if the Players Association can fight that to bring it down to 10, 12 games. Don't know. But if you're Baker Mayfield, this what'd you say?
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, my bad.
No, you good. If I'm Baker Mayfield, this is what I would do. If I was Baker Mayfield and you find out that Deshaun Watson is suspended for a year, I would go out there and try to play the best football that I ever played in my life to get my value back up. Because the reason why Baker Mayfield has not been traded, I believe, is because
Deshaun Watson.
not because of Deshaun Watson, it's because Cleveland has done a disservice to this man's value. I think teams are waiting for Cleveland to cut him. You know, I think if Baker Mayfield got cut today, he'd be signed tomorrow. But no team wants to give up any type of assets to get Baker Mayfield because they don't think he's worth it right now. They don't think he's worth it. And that's what I would do if I were Baker Mayfield. I would go and play lights out. I mean, I would do my goal would be to win a fucking Super Bowl. But see, Baker Mayfield seems to be so stubborn, prideful, and petty that and look, I can understand because look, Baker Mayfield was hurt in week 2, played the rest of the season when he really shouldn't have, thinking that Cleveland was going to take care of him on the back end and he was going to be the franchise quarterback. And not only did they give you the middle finger, they brought in a quarterback with legal problems, serious legal problems, and guaranteed all of his money. And left you out to dry.
Setting the pocket corners, I tried setting everything.
And they left him out to dry. And I totally understand why he would feel petty, but he needs to approach this as a professional.
Right. Well, he thinks that, you know what I'm saying, like, he should try to win Super Bowl. Number one, he should have been trying to do that anyway. You know what I'm saying? And you say ball, you talking about ball,
I'm talking about ball out.
Hold on. It's dropping. The grippers are right here, and it's missing the grip.
I'm talking about ball out.
Huh?
I'm talking about rock out with your cock out. I'm talking about be the best version of yourself that you can be.
Yeah, but how better can he be in the same situation?
That's a good question. That's a good point. Let's just put it this way. If I'm Baker Mayfield, I'm doing my best to be 2020 Baker Mayfield, not 2019 or 2021 Baker Mayfield. Because, I mean, he's still, like, Cleveland doesn't have to trade him. You know, they could, you know, but he would still make $18 million. But I would handle this as a professional. Plus, you winning anyway. You still got, well, I don't know. I ain't seen the progressive commercials lately, but you still got a fine-ass wife, okay? You still got a fine-ass wife, so you're still winning. But anyway, I just wanted to get your opinion on that. I see you at work, that you're busy.
Yeah, my bad, man.
No, you good, bro. No, you good. You good. But I'm going to get at you soon, all right, big dog? Hey, yo, birthday's coming up. The Sunday on July 17th, 2 days before my birthday, I just want to throw some food on the grill and get up and we just chill.
Okay, that'll work.
And I bust your ass in spades again. All right, bro.
All right.
Later. Oh man, yeah. Now, it's really the dynamic of this Deshaun Watson situation really fascinates me because I'm just interested to see what the overall outcome of a suspension is going to be and how Baker Mayfield is going to handle this. Is he going to handle it like a professional, or is he going to handle it in his feelings? But with that being said, where the buzzer. I'm just gonna go ahead and let this beat play out, that swag on it there beat. But oh man, today was definitely a fun show. We got some ugly weather. All of a sudden I'm doing the show and it's just pouring down raining. And you know what rain does to me on my day off? It just makes me want to pass out and go to sleep. It really does. But I hope everybody again has a wonderful, safe, and blessed week. And before I go, it was just brought to my attention that my cousin up in Philly, Janelle, just gave birth to twin boys. Them King boys is getting stronger. That's my family up in Philly. Yo, Nelly, I love you. I'm so proud of you. And Uncle Two, where you at, Uncle Deuce? You know what I'm saying? The fam gets bigger. I love my Philadelphia bloodlines. I love my Philadelphia family. And I love you guys. I'm going to send you guys a copy of the podcast as soon as I get done. So definitely, I want you to hear your shout out. Nelly, I love you. Kiss them babies for me. You heard? And definitely hit that subscription button and become part of the Sports Plus Life family, as well as the Brandon Brevon Towns family. And it's all under the same umbrella because it's me, Brevon Towns, on YouTube. But again, I hope everybody has a wonderful, safe, blessed week. I hope the weather is not too cuckoo for crazy. And it's your boy, Brandon Brevon Towns. This is another episode of Sports Plus Life. I'm out this beer. Peace. I love you guys. I'll see y'all soon.